Okay, so welcome to the series of group discussions. The most burning topic, the most important topic being discussed in India. We are coming up with the series of these topic. These will be the knowledge enhancement session as well as very important for placement purpose. Those who will be preparing for group discussion and other important interview rounds, completely this will be the beneficial thing for them. Today we will be discussing one of the very important issue which the government has raised currently, and that can have a capacity of making it a game changer. Today we will be talking about one nation, one election. Just like one nation, one tax, the same thing the government has put up a punchline on one nation, one election. What exactly this one nation, one election concept is, how it will going to benefit, what are the demerits of it, all things can be discussed. Be watch till the end, you will be able to understand it. Now, let us deep dive into the process of one nation, one election. Imagine here in India, roads are blocked, rallies are held, security forces are deployed, school turn into a polling booths, and billions of rupees are spent. Why? Because elections are happening in our country. And this is a complete cycle from so many years, all the times. What if I told you that there are no idea on conduct of election in India, and that idea is conduct the simultaneous elections on Lok Sabha, state assemblies. Even we are planning to include local body elections like panchayat or municipalities election. This idea is being pronounced at one nation, one election. Sounds very interesting, sounds very efficient, right? But no, is it practical or not? That we have to see, that we have to deep dive into the entire concept. So, in broader sense, the concept of one nation, one election means, the major concept of one nation, one election means that all the major elections like Lok Sabha, where we select Prime Minister, State Assembly, where we select CMs, and then municipalities and panchayats, where we select mayors or panchayat persons. So these all elections we wanted to synchronize in one straight cycle. The government has already introduced the constitutional amendment, that is, we called it as 129th Amendment Bill 2024, and Union Territory Laws Bill, again an amendment bill in 2024, make this possible. But this isn't a brand new idea. Let me tell you, this was being discussed consistently initially by Election Commission in 83, the Law Commission in 99, in 2018, the Parliamentary Standing Committee in 2015. Even our own Niti Aayog has discussed this in 2017. Let me tell you, in the old version, initially the election used to held only on a one nation, one election point of view. But after the certain election, this entire exercise being exercise being discontinued because of the certain government elected government being not continued. It was there an idea at least till next, at least in the first three general election, till the time the election used to happen in the on a one simultaneous manner. So let us talk about the benefits of one nation, one election. The most important benefit we need to understand. We have understood five major benefits that entire process can give you the five major benefits. The first is obviously reduction of the electoral cost, which was whooping around 55,000 crore rupees for a one general election happened in India. That was in 9,000 crore in 1998, and this is consistently the election commission and government has to spend. Then obviously governance stability, streamlining the entire governance process, will model code of conduct, the we called as Achar Sanhita, can be implemented only once in entire year, and that to be on a 5-year term. That will help government to work for 4.5 years and only 6 months they can think about making it for elections. One nation, one election delay, that reduction, such delay is reduced, that reduction in this point can be reduced. Higher voter turnout, as we all know, the engagement towards the voters are very, very important. We have seen our average is around 60-65% eligible voter votes for the election. The main reason is the constant basis elections are happening. We believe specifically one nation, one election could improve the participation. We can celebrate it as a democracy, of a festival of a democracy, and everybody can take a leave and then can come up for, can take out one day for voting for their suitable candidate. Obviously, it will enhance the security purpose also. 3.4 lakh CAPF used in 2024, which can be freed to the border duty. That can be one of the major challenge. Whenever the general elections happen, it happens in the multiple rounds. This time, I think around 7 to 8 rounds. And we know that so many CAPF and other important forces, other military forces being used. So that can be again synchronized for only one election. And then cooperative federalism, that is another where we can talk about, with all governments starting and ending term together, planning and development will align really, really better. In short, fewer disruption, more efficiency, and possible stronger democracy. This looks fabulous, right? I think we need to think about the challenges and demerits also. So let us talk about some challenges which can face. The first and the foremost challenge in the constitutional and legal issue, it cannot be possible without the 2/3 in the majority in parliament, both the state and the 50% in the states. So 2/3 parliamentary majority required, and the 50% in the states should say yes to that. Then only it is possible. So this is a very, very challenging thing. Considering like India, where the diversity is there, it looks very difficult. Threat to federalism, yes, the main structure of federalism is to power need to be centralized from the central government to the state government. I believe this federalism structure can be overshadowed, and it can weaken the entire system. The regional voices may weaken. Logistically, this is a nightmare. And one general election, you need almost 3 to 4 months of entire process being conducted. Now imagine you have to conduct the entire all type of election in one go. So that may require a huge logistical context. 900 plus million, that is 90 crore plus voters may go for a voting on one single day, or probably on a multiple days, but that can again require a huge logistical context. And of course, the accountability can be one of the major challenge. Frequent election keep government answerable. We can say that when the governments are always on toes, they need to perform better. But one nation, one election can reduce the check. So that again can be one of the major challenge. Few more challenges we found is a political resistance. Pretty obvious the national parties will going to get benefit from this, because generally when the general election happen, always there is a national issue being played. But if the general election along with the state elections are happening, national parties will getting an advantage. State parties may have a major disadvantage. They may not accept the fact they may not accept this resolution. Premature dissolution, this might happen, that the clear-cut majority in one particular state, it's not possible. This could happen that there is there's a dissolution in a government. Then what would be the next step? What will be the government will be doing? So what could be the next step? That is, although this has been cleared by the committee that if the election, if the state government dissolute in between, so the election will going to happen for the remaining time only. For example, if in a 5-year government, 2.5 year, after 2.5 year the election, the state election assembly got dissolved, then the election will going to be happen for remaining 2.5 year, so they can align with the next step on it. But again, it is a very important discussed issue. Judicial bottleneck, this could be the another problem. Simultaneously disputes could overwhelm courts. Already they are facing so many challenges about the lack of sufficient number of judges and the good lawyers in the system. But parallelly, if this could happen, suddenly the entire judicial system will going to play a crucial context. So these are the challenges. After looking into challenges, I'm sure you might be thinking that whether it is feasible or not. Yes, that's why we are discussing. That's a major discussion point. There are some merits of it. There are some demerits of it. Obviously, the demerits looks more currently because it is not being practiced in globally in many countries. Let us talk about some countries, those who have tried and implemented the entire system. Yes, Indonesia and Sweden, these two companies has already experienced the synchronization of the election. But let me tell you guys, these are the very small countries. These are the very small countries comparatively like India, where the mass, the area wise, the population wise, you will find it's difficult. India is the largest, world's largest democracy and logistical Everest. I must say it's a logistical Everest. What is way forward then? Then way forward is we can start with some pilot projects under the union territories and start small, see that work, that scale or not, because implementing throughout the country can have a dispersal effect in future. I believe we should think on that perspective to starting a pilot project. Phase-wise implementation, we can do it. For example, 2 phases cycle as suggested by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Rather than keeping it on one go, we can have two different types of phases where we can learn the international models. We just don't need to copy it. We need to adopt. We need to understand adaptability required because we have other challenges. The global country may have a different challenges, and the political consensus. Ultimately, one nation, one election cannot be succeeded if all the parties get agreed on that, and otherwise it will become a partition agenda which cannot going to solve the purpose of the constitution. So one nation, one election, balanced view, we can talk about one nation, one election is a big saving, smoother governance and voter friendly election, but it also risks on undermining the federalism, straining the logistic and the phases huge legal hurdle. So I think it could be implemented only when the political will and the effectiveness can be calculated. It's a dream worth exploring, but only with the cautious, very cautious. India is not just the world's largest democracy, it is also the most complex structure across the world. One nation, one election sounds very efficient, but democracy isn't only about efficiency, it's also about representation. So that is the real test in one nation, one election. I believe we need to be really focus on what could be the outcome rather than just trying and implementing and making it more user friendly. Whether it's strength the voice of every Indian from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from village to metros, because in the end democracy is not about election alone but about the trust in the system. By this we could simply conclude the by this I can simply conclude the entire discussion by putting it that these ideas should come up and can have a broader perspective, but country like India, we need to be very cautious. Thank you so much for this entire listening me patiently. I am sure you will get benefit from this, and please comment and please provide your comments on this entire discussion, and of course like and subscribe our channel. I would definitely be coming up with more and more engaging videos like this. Thank you so much. God bless you.